Have you ever watched your chickens right before they go to sleep and notice they do something that makes absolutely no sense? Most backyard keepers see it every single night and never stop to ask why. They assume it's just random chicken behavior, something primitive, something meaningless. But what happens in the minutes before your chickens settle in for the night is one of the most revealing windows into their social world, and almost nobody is paying attention to it. They don't just go to sleep, they negotiate. Have you ever watched your chickens approach the roost at night and noticed that it's never calm? There's pushing, there's repositioning, there's noise, and it happens every single night without fail. You probably thought it was chaos, random squabbling, chickens being chickens, but it's not chaos. It's a system. According to research on social behavior in domestic poultry published in Applied Animal Behavior Science, roosting position in chickens is not random. It is directly determined by social hierarchy. Higher-ranking individuals consistently occupy the most desirable positions on the roost, typically higher up and toward the center, while lower-ranking birds are displaced to less favorable spots. What you're watching every night isn't random fighting. It's the entire social structure of your flock being enforced and confirmed in real time. Every push, every displaced bird, every bird that holds her position, it's all social information being processed and communicated simultaneously. Your flock isn't going to sleep. They're having a meeting first. She stares more when something has changed. Have you ever noticed your chicken staring at you longer than usual on certain days? Days when you were stressed, tired, or moving differently? That's not a coincidence. According to research published in Applied Animal Behavior Science, chickens are highly sensitive to behavioral changes in familiar humans. They build a baseline model of how their caregiver normally looks, moves, and sounds. When something deviates from that baseline, even subtly, they increase their visual attention toward that person. In other words, the longer and more intense the stare, the more your chicken has detected that something is off. She can't ask you what's wrong. She can't come closer and check if you're okay the way a dog might. So she does the only thing she can. She watches. And if this is making you see your flock differently, hit that like button and subscribe. It helps this channel reach more keepers who actually want to understand their birds. The direction of the stare matters. Here's something most keepers have never considered, and I'll come back to why this matters at the end of the video. Your chicken doesn't stare at you with both eyes at once. She can't. Her eyes are on the sides of her head. So every time she looks at you directly, she's making a choice about which eye to use. According to neuroscience research by Dr. Leslie Rogers at the University of New England in Australia, the two hemispheres of a bird's brain process information differently. The left eye, connected to the right hemisphere, is associated with social recognition, emotional processing, and evaluating familiar individuals. The right eye, connected to the left hemisphere, is more oriented toward detecting threats and assessing unfamiliar situations. So here's what that means in practice. When your chicken tilts her head and watches you with her left eye, she's processing you as a known individual. Someone familiar, someone she has a relationship with. When she watches you with her right eye, she's in threat assessment mode. Something about you or the situation has triggered a different kind of attention. Next time your chicken stares at you, notice which eye she's using. It tells you exactly what she's thinking. A silent stare can be a request. Not every stare is about reading your emotional state. Some stares have a very specific purpose. According to ethologists who study communication in domestic poultry, chickens use sustained gaze directed at humans as a form of referential communication, meaning they use their eyes to direct human attention toward something they want or need. You've probably seen this without realizing it. Your chicken stares at you, then looks toward the empty water, then back at you, or stares at the coop door, or stares at a spot where she found food before. This behavior, gaze alternation between a human and a desired object, has been documented in several social species and indicates that the animal understands that the human is an agent capable of acting on their behalf. Your chicken isn't just staring at you. In those moments, she's asking you to do something. She has figured out that you respond to her attention, and she's using that knowledge deliberately. The stare that means she feels completely safe. Here's the one that changes everything. and it's the one I mentioned earlier. Not every stare is about reading you, or detecting change, or making a request. There's one type of silent stare that means something completely different. When a chicken sits quietly near you, not eating, not foraging, not doing anything, and just watches you with a soft, relaxed gaze, that is one of the most significant things she can communicate. According to research on animal stress indicators published in Behavioral Processes, relaxed, sustained visual attention in prey animals directed toward a familiar individual is associated with low arousal states, meaning the animal's threat detection system is essentially switched off. For a prey animal, switching off threat detection requires complete trust in the safety of the environment. Your chicken is not just sitting there. She has decided, based on everything she knows about you, everything she has observed, every pattern she has recorded, that you are safe enough to let her guard down completely. She's not watching you because she's nervous. She's watching you because she wants to, when the stare suddenly stops. And here's what every keeper needs to know, because most people miss this completely. If your chicken used to make eye contact with you regularly, used to watch you with that calm, sustained gaze, and suddenly stops, pay attention. According to avian veterinary specialists and guidelines published by the Association of Avian Veterinarians, changes in social attention behavior, including reduced eye contact and decreased interest in the caregiver, are among the earliest observable indicators of health compromise in domestic poultry, often appearing before physical symptoms become visible. A chicken that stops watching you isn't being indifferent. She's telling you something is wrong. It could be physical, pain, illness, early disease. It could be environmental, a change in the flock dynamic, a new stressor in her space. But whatever the cause, that withdrawal of attention is a signal. The silent stare you took for granted was actually a sign of connection. And when it disappears, that's the moment to act. If you notice this in your flock, consult an avian veterinarian. The earlier the better. What to do when she stares at you, ... So now you know what the stare means. The question is, what do you do with that information? Most keepers ignore it, walk past, keep doing what they were doing, ... But according to research on human-animal bonding in domestic poultry published in Applied Animal Behavior Science, chickens that receive reciprocal attention from their caregivers, meaning the human pauses, orients toward the bird, and responds to the interaction, show stronger social bonds and lower stress indicators over time, ... In other words, when your chicken stares at you, stare back, ... Not in a threatening way, not with rapid movement or loud sounds. Just stop. Turn toward her, hold her gaze for a few seconds. Let her finish her read, ... That simple act, acknowledging her attention with your own, is one of the most powerful things you can do to build trust with your flock. It tells her that you noticed, that you're present, that you're paying attention too. She's been watching you for months. She knows you better than you think. The question is, how well do you know her? Your chicken's silent stare is not random. It's not creepy. It's not meaningless. It's one of the most honest forms of communication she has. She stares to read you. She stares when something has changed. She stares to ask for help. And sometimes, on the quiet days when everything feels right, she stares simply because she feels safe enough to just watch the person she trusts. So the next time you look up and find her eyes on you, don't look away. She's been paying attention to you this whole time. Maybe it's time you paid attention back.